that particular female, she's exceptionally ugly, but the rest of her bloodline, the rest of the dogs, her siblings, her parents, her grandparents, they're all phenomenal dogs and phenomenal producing dogs. So what that means to me is that even though she may be an ugly dog, she's an exception to her rule. Me and Aunt, we were with the dogs, and there was, I think, either we were talking about the puppies or I was pointing at one puppy or something like that, whatever it was, and I was like, I think you asked about it or something, I don't know, but anyway, I was like, this dog over here, she ugly, like she's ugly, like just flat out ugly, and but I said she's an exception to her rule, and basically meaning that you can have dogs. The exception to the rule doesn't make the rule. Mm-hmm. That was something my brother had always said, that was a saying that always resonated with me. So meaning that particular female, she's exceptionally ugly, but the rest of her bloodline, the rest of the dogs, her siblings, her parents, her grandparents, they're all phenomenal dogs and phenomenal producing dogs. So what that means to me is that even though she may be an ugly dog, she's an exception to her rule. So she's going to produce me usually dogs that are similar to the rest of the dogs in her in her bloodline. But then there's also like the other end of that where people don't realize is they see these studs, a lot of these studs, these top studs that look phenomenal. Could be the perfect dog it could be the perfect in the world. Could everything be perfect? But if he comes from other dogs that are ugly, not producing, parents ugly, not producing, he's just the exception to his rule. And what do we say? The exception to the rule doesn't make the rule. So now that people breed to this dog, and they get the relatives, not him.
Not him. That makes sense.
You see what I'm saying?
Genotype stuff like that.
So that's where it's like, then I'll see a dog, and sometimes it don't impress me based off of the production.
Because then you're like, well, I see the lineage, and it just don't matter.
It's what we call an anomaly. That's what we call an anomaly. Basically, like something that just like
doesn't happen.
It's like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
It's like 1 in a million.
No,
like you're gonna get the best of everything. You're gonna get everything you feel like you need, but the production.
You get a show dog.
Yeah,
but you can't even really
stand them out. At the same time,
because everybody's gonna get
no. Because when you have a dog that is the anomaly, right, for a stud, not for a female, but for a stud,
it don't matter.
It depends on who's marketing the dog.
It happens with a female too, though, because I had a female that was she was phenomenal, amazing. But the problem was I knew she was an anomaly, and I knew what I was dealing with. But I was like, you know what? It'll be my project on the side or whatever. Still, no matter what I bred her to, nothing. Because she was an anomaly.
Yeah.
I have to breed her like freaking 10 times to just try to get one. You know, 1 in 100. So that's what people don't understand, is sometimes they're dealing with anomalies. And then what's even worse is when you breed one anomaly to another anomaly. So you get a stud that's an anomaly, right? This big name stud that's an anomaly, and you got a female that she's an anomaly, and then you wonder why the breedings don't click, why they don't hit. It's like, yo, I took this fire female to this fire stud. I should have fire. Fire plus fire equals fire.
Not how that works.
No.
If you took all the connections away, like they do in like Undercover Boss, there's another show. It wasn't called Undercover Boss. It was called Grant Cardone was on it, and basically Grant Cardone, I don't know if you know his history. He's a real estate buff. So on this show, what they did was they took all his connections away, all his money away, gave him an old busted ass truck, sent him in like some small town, and he had to create $1 million business, or a business that was evaluated at being worth $1 million. Not necessarily made the $1 million yet, but the evaluation of the business.
Let him out.
Go to sell it to be worth $1 million within 90 days, I want to say, right? And I was thinking about that in the dog world. Like, if you did that with one of these top name breeders and gave them like $10,000 and told them this is all that they had, and they had to go out and do the research on some dogs and put a couple dogs together within a certain amount of time, within a year, and create something that was going to make a move in the market, would they be able to do it?
That's a very good question.
Take all the connections away. You're not allowed to hook up with none of your homies, right? You can't call in no favors. You got to pay your way.
Some breeders also just got lucky.
Yes.
So you don't know.
A lot of breeders got lucky and then figured it out later.
It's true.
And I was like, damn, if I had, like, that would be a good experiment to try and run within the dog community. You know what I mean? Because, like, you talk to certain people, and I feel like, what do you feel is the amount of money on the East Coast that a new breeder needs to come into the game with?
Amount of money? Honestly, in my opinion.
And where are you sending them with this money?
Like, what dogs would I go with?
What dogs? Male, female? What kennel would you point them toward? There's going to be certain stipulations because they only got so much money. So they're coming in the game and they're like, "Hey, dog, I got X amount of dollars. I'm trying to make some noise. You're Mr. Double Muscle Line, Breeders Hacks. Like, the hack I need is show me how to take this money and What advice would you give that person? How much money you feel like they would have to have?
I feel like on the East Coast, what I would do, and I would tell them to come to Double Muscle Line Bulls, but it's like, we don't sell,
always Double Muscle Line Bulls.
well, we don't sell puppies like that. So
We don't sell puppies like that.
Yeah,
Ain't nothing for sale on this page.
like I got like a year.
These products.
Yeah. I usually got like a year waiting list, especially on females. So I myself would be the wrong direction to go to. I would honestly say going to like a Garden State. I'll go to
Garden State. How much money? What do I need to take to Garden State?
Yeah.
And
Smile and a check.
Smile.
And a check. Straight cash.
I'm a little bit different. See, for me, like what I would do is rather than investing a crazy amount of money on just one female, because I know the blood, like the Garden State blood, like I would try to buy a multitude of females at a more affordable price instead of spending maybe like 30, 40, 50 G's on one female.
I'm so man, this is your brother right now. He works at the pizza joint.
Yeah,
I
got 10,000.
Bro, I ain't got no fucking 30,000.
I got 30. What are you talking about? I might even have 5,
Stop
bro.
making them.
So I gotta buy my rent.
You know what you need to do?
Yeah, nah.
You need to start selling that cold cheese on the side.
She's on the side.
On the
Nah,
table.
if it was like my brother, I would tell him go to Garden State. Depending on what they got.
5 bands. I got 5 bands. I'm going to Garden.
Is that enough?
I'm not gonna
Can I
buy.
get it?
I'm not gonna buy a multitude of females.
I can't get a multitude. I can get one hard one. And
Here's what I would do. I'll go to Garden State. If they would be willing to sell you a puppy, for $5,000, I would jump at it. Jump at it. But if they didn't have anything in that price range, then I would go to someone who has Garden State blood and bred it back to their blood. If that makes sense, you know what I'm saying?
The blood.
It's somebody who had bought a female from Garden State and bred it back to their boys, because I feel like there's so much like their dogs are so preponent, and when I say preponent, it just means that it's like you breed to one of their boys and it's like it don't miss, especially like paintball. He was known to you could breed him to any blood. This is what made me a believer.
That Chihuahua.
hey, he's gonna come out crazy.
This is what made me a believer in their blood is when I think one of the partners, because it's June and it's Juan, when they put a post up on Facebook and it was 200 dogs from 200 different litters and they all had that crazy look. I was like, yo,
That's consistency.
Yeah. And for somebody like me, I can really appreciate that. But I feel like that's not something that a lot of breeders, new breeders come into are looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Really understand.
They looking for the anomaly.
Yeah, they looking for the anomaly.
They looking for consistency.
Yeah, so when I saw that, I was like, yo, like
They got it.
they got it. They got it. And even my mentor would always say too. He's like, I think like as far as producers, especially on the East Coast, paintball's probably probably number one, especially on the East Coast.
That's right.
So I would send you to go in that direction because those dogs are what we call preponent, where they pass on their genetics very strongly. You can't miss with that, and especially like with like a paintball daughter or a crossbones daughter or any of those boys' daughters. Usually, you can take them to anything and you get some fire. So like I'll give you an example: a paintball daughter. No, I'm sorry. Mr. Big, he's a paintball son. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he did that one. Ran his whole yard off of that one paintball breed.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So if I had to recommend somebody on the East Coast, I would try to get some blood like that, and do something along the lines like that. You know.
Something consistent like that.
So how do you spot an anomaly for a breeder that's out there that feels like, damn, is this the anomaly? Like, do they go back and do the history on the dog to make sure that
I would say the easiest
genetics are what they not what they should be, but just
they
check the
couldn't be.
genetics.
It's
because
almost like-
somebody will buy a good looking dog for dirt cheap and never look at the genetics, right? Just because they feel like they can trust what they're seeing in front of
and
them.
that's why-
Is that a big mistake?
Well, the first thing I'm gonna say is that's why, like, I remember like a year ago or something like that, like breeders were saying, like, don't ask for the pedigree, look at the dog and tell me if like don't ask no questions, just like
look at
either
the dog,
look at the dog. If you like the dog, buy it. Otherwise, don't be bothering me with pedigree stuff and this and that. And to me, I was just like,
That's crazy.
to me at least. But yet again, I'm not the type to like. You know,
look at
I'm,
dog and
I'm
be like-
quiet on social media. I just share my information and that's it. You know.
Oh, this ain't social media. This is BreedersX.com, the place that you need to be getting all of your pet supplies. Stop playing with us.
And some of the best dog breeding mukbangs. But
Go to the
yeah,
information center and get our charts
that's right.
and dosages. Thank you.
But like I was saying, like I just thought that was like me and my partner saw that and we was like, yo, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Going against everything that real breeders,
Like real breeders are
that-
supposed to be doing.
yes,
and
You're supposed to do your
suggestions
research.
do, right?
yeah.
They know
Take
the
that away.
history.
What are you doing?
That's one of the things that I love when I sit down with guys like yourself and you can just tell me the history of a dog. Like you breaking
man.
down paintball's lineage, you know what I mean? Without looking at a chart, without having to Google some shit on the net. Like,
Hell yeah.
and Garden State, yes, those are your boys, that's family. So it's going to be a little bit easier for you to follow that blood, right? Especially because that blood is.
So they weren't my boys. What happened with Garden State was I fell in love with the blood, and by doing by for example, Crossbones, my main stud.
Yeah.
People don't know I did 5 breedings to that dog before I even owned him.
Really?
Like yeah, like it was one of those things that like we became friends, we became cool off of
the business you were
the
doing.
business aspect of like I said, I did my research and that's what made me fall in love with their dogs. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it definitely wasn't because like the
So
coolest.
what do you think about that, right? Because there's a lot of people that talk shit about a lot of larger, even medium breeders, right? Just like they act like they don't have the time of day until I spend money. Then I spend money, and it's like not like we're best of friends, but I get a little bit more conversation. Do you agree with that, or what do you feel?
Nah,
I feel like in the social media world, like what's your thoughts on that? I'm gonna leave it with my
Alright, so
thoughts on
I
it.
can't even say the social media world. I can't even say the dog breeding world. And I mean, the first thing I'll say is like the one thing that was cool about June over at Garden State was like the first day I met him, he was like extremely like hospitality was like how we linked up. You know what I'm saying? Like a friend, a long lost friend or something like
Yes.
that. But anyway, like for me, this has always been my philosophy. Is like, you get what you give. So I feel like that's what has allowed me to prosper in the game, especially.
But do you feel like if you hadn't done those 5 breedings, would that friendship still be the same, or did it grow because you were doing so much business?
No. So let me rephrase. The first day I met him was exactly as cool as like the first day I met y'all.
Gotcha.
And the first day I met him is exactly the same friendship that we have
To this day.
To this day. You know what I'm saying?
It
Like,
makes
was
you
like,
wanna
hey,
spin.
what's going on, bro?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, exactly how when we
that.
first linked up.
Yeah.
So it was like you not fall for it, but it's like, yo, like it's like that hospitality, like, and you.
Like, you just don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, you don't get that everywhere, and I think that's why everybody, especially like shout out to Garden State June. That's why everybody loves him. You know, like can't nobody say nothing bad about him in this game. But like I said, like for me, and especially in the dog game, I feel like a lot of breeders feel that way. That you do need to spend money with me in order to
Feel that type of like love.
like yeah, for me to want to like bother with this and that and this and that, and everybody has their own philosophy, and they're entitled to that. I just feel like, at least for me, how I've found how like the universe works is you get what you give. So like for me, I gave out free game, you know what I'm saying, with like not expecting anything in return. And even if people didn't want to, you know, maybe say breed to my dogs or whatever, or maybe they were Frenchie owners or whatever, but they felt obligated to come back and like spend money on the website and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Things were reciprocated like back to me in other forms. I just believe in, like I said, like kind of like you gotta give first and then you'll receive.
Yeah.
Versus expecting to receive first and then I'll give.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's
So,
at least.
so I have a question.
Yeah.
It's changing gears that leads back to
Bang.
no bang, no bang bang. But the subject of the classes and doing more in-person classes, right?
And one thing, I didn't want to cut you off. There's one thing too, like think about it like this too, right? Like for someone who I'm thinking about breeding to your dog, right? Like, both you guys got dogs. I hit you up and I'm like, hey, you know, I got a question, this, and that. You're like, you don't even bother. But I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I got a question. And even though I didn't spend money with him, he responded and answered my question. When it comes time to spend money, I'm more than likely going to deal with him. People like to spend money with people who they feel like they know or have some kind of association with. I was looking for a plumber the other day. I'm like, Sandra, who do we know that's a plumber that can come fix this thing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not thinking of, let me just hit up a random person.
Let's Google it.
Because I feel like a random person I'm going to hit up is going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
So that's just human nature.
Yeah.
You know?
So the reason that I heard coming from larger breeders is once you get on a certain level, the DM is just insane, right?
Oh,
and if I sit around
no.
and I try and answer everybody's questions and show my dog to everybody who's in my DM, I'm never gonna make it anywhere. So if I'm not an asshole, I don't get past that first layer, second layer of bullshit.
Let me put it this way, bro. Let me put it this way. Like, I can definitely empathize for those breeders. And here's just my thing. My thing is like I get a crazy amount of DMs. Like I can't even keep up with all the DMs. She helps me answer DMs. We could be sitting here for hours answering DMs.
Yeah.
Like it gets crazy. For me, is like I said, like I just believe in, like I said, no matter what, like I stay true to that. Like you get what you give. Like, you know, I try to help in which way I can. I try to respond to DMs the best way I can.
So have you ever came across anybody that's like, well, you don't really go to shows, but I'm just saying, you could be anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Come across somebody, hey, Angel, I've been DMing you for like 4 months, bro. You don't never answer my shit. Like, dealing with that, and it's like, bruh, then you go to the DMs, and it's like, hey, man, I got a question. Hey, man, this. And you're like, bro, if you watch the video, like, you don't even have to ask me because it's the answer to your question is already there.
I just
So it's like now you're mad at me.
Here's what I would say real quick, right? Here's what I would say real quick, though. Because I actually do answer DMs. He got to go in the cage, bro. He got to go.
You wanted him.
I tried to be nice. But Wishbone, he just
Come here.
he does what he wants to do, and I'm a mush for it, and that's why he got to go back in the cage. So
Let him be. He got his ball. He's happy.
So anyway, here's what I would say, right? Here's what I would say to like something like that, like what you was just saying, is like I'll give you an example. Is like the website Breeders Hacks, right? I have my good friend Mike, and he specializes in scaling multi-million-dollar businesses, especially through e-commerce. He took a look at the report on Breeders Hacks, the amount of people that came to the site, the amount of returning customers to the site. He said, Angel, I've never seen anything like this. He was like, the people that like follow you and like repurchase and things like that, he's like, we can't even get this in like in the businesses that we do. And I'm talking about multi-million-dollar businesses. He's like, we can't even get numbers like this. This is like a unicorn. This is unheard of. I don't know whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. So, like I said, I just follow my philosophy in that sense of, like I said, I do try to respond to DMs. I can't get to everybody, but I do try to respond to DMs, and I think that's a large part in why we've been as successful as we are. Because, like I said, I believe in the reverse. Like I said, a lot of breeders out there believe in
Spend money first.
Yeah.
Then you'll get
exactly. Yeah. Like I'll give to you after I receive. But I believe in I give first, and then I know I'll receive. And it may not be from that individual, but I just believe in like the laws of the universe and stuff like that. And I know I'll be blessed in one way or another. So that's the philosophy I did starting with this, and that's how.
You know who you talking to?
What?
Unicorn right there.
Tax.
But that's
the motherfucker breeder hat.
But I genuinely believe
He's the exception to the rule.
I'm an
He is an anomaly. He explained it himself.
But I genuinely like believe in that's why I like that was the mindset ever since I started with Breeders Hacks, and like what I was doing dog breeding wise, like is just in the shadow in comparison to when I started having that mindset and I started doing things that way. And it was like you guys see like there like even the OGs on the West Coast really ain't who can say anything bad about Breeders Hacks.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I mean that's what, you know that's just what I believe in, and like I said, everybody's entitled to their own thought process, their own opinion, their own concept,
psychology,
exactly,
philosophy.
their own philosophies of life, and that's just the philosophy that I followed, and it's been good to me, you know.
It's working.
It's worked.
Yeah,
and it's better. It's really good for the community.
I believe it just goes back to what do your parents always teach you? The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us have forgotten that rule, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you know.
Oh, I remember the rule.
No, he don't.
I don't remember the rule.
So I guess that's how he wants to be treated.
I remember the rule.
Motherfucker.
Don't get me, but don't get me wrong.
It's still crazy to me when I go to shows and people come up to me and they're like,
Can I get a signature?
You're the reason why I picked up a camera.
That's
That's
dope.
amazing.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, every single time I DM'd you, you don't even know it was me, but it was me, and you
dope.
always responded. You know what I mean? I would have the dumbest questions, and it's like, bro, I just wanted to be the guy that I didn't have. Like when me and P were getting into the camera game,
He gotta go, man.
we didn't have nobody to call. We didn't have nobody to DM. We didn't have nobody that was gonna come over and show us.
Yeah.
And a lot of these questions that you guys are asking are stupid simple. It's gonna take me like
2 seconds.
But here's the good thing about it, right? So you said, well, what if somebody asks you a question and you like, well, and I'm like, well, there's an episode of Breeders Hacks, like, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I get frustrated and I don't respond because I know I shot an episode of Breeders Hacks on it. Instead, what do? I take the clip from Breeders Hacks and I send it to them.
yeah.
And even though maybe they're not spending no money with me or whatever the case may be, they watch that video. What does that mean? YouTube's gonna pay me for that.
Yeah.
So it you know, to a
works
degree,
out.
like it still does work out. You know,
Yeah.
worth it.
And for me, I just feel weird because I feel like, we're regular people. You know what I mean? And it's like the stuff that we do.
I don't think
it
I'm
seems
Hollywood anymore.
extraordinary, but to us, it's like this is regular everyday life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I'm gonna give you another example, right? About exactly what we were talking about as far as like the you give what you get, the golden rule and whatnot, right? I'm sorry, you get what you give. There's one brand that like when talking to Mike that was was owned on Amazon and all these other platforms and stuff like that, and he looked at the numbers, right? And he said, I don't understand this. It's cheaper on Amazon, but it's significantly cheaper on Amazon, but all these people are still going to your website to buy this product. I don't understand it. And like I said, because they feel loyal to me.
connected.
Yeah, loyal
Like,
and supporting the
I
brand.
see him. I know Angel. I see him every goddamn Tuesday when
They
I
would
see
spend
something.
more money on my site than on
Yeah.
Amazon
Yeah.
because they want to support me.
Machine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like,
The definition of supporting your local businesses and your local brands, like the brands that you
Yeah.
know and you fuck with. You know,
It's-
and when I first got into stocks, and I had no idea what to buy, still don't know what to buy. Right? My uncle said, just buy the stuff that you use. Right? If you had an electric car out there, you'd probably be wanting to buy some Tesla stock because it's
Yeah.
something that you use on a daily basis.
Yep, yep.
You wear Nike, you use Apple, you rock Canon. All of these people sell stock. And if you love the brand the way that you love it, just imagine how many other people out there are Canon ambassadors or Tesla ambassadors. You know what I mean? You know the company's not going anywhere. Buy stock in those.
Yeah.
This is
Did you look at the gallery?
Nah, man, it's too much work. I
he
can't worry
passed
about
out. He never make it
I
in the
swear
door.
to God, I look at it.
yeah.
Wake up in LA like, what happened?
What happened?
I had a dream.
I swear to God, I saw Cannon God right there.
Oh no!
Ah.
All he needs is to go to Canon and Peter McKinnon open the door.
Oh, I died. I passed out.
There you go. Ready?
Yeah.
8:30 to 5.
You got a call though or something, right?
I don't know.
But
You know?
either way, I just believe, at least for me, like, I don't know, like, I just feel like the way that the direction that I'm headed in with Breeders Hacks, the direction we're headed in, because you guys are definitely playing a huge part in a lot of the content and things like that.
You guys are stuck with us.
Okay. Well,
Hey man,
what I was gonna.
hey man, as long as you keep bringing me some nice, foodie
Yeah.
places,
Yeah.
I ain't never gonna be mad about it.
What
Damn.
what I was just gonna say though is like, I
Oh.
feel like Breeders Hacks is something that could definitely, like, in the bully game, become something that becomes like mainstream.
Yes.
Meaning like it
Yeah.
it already has as far as with
Oh,
other
yeah.
breeds,
I don't even
but
think-
crossing over into other breeds, and I mean, like,
I feel
becoming
that's not
way
even a
bigger
question
than I
anymore.
ever like imagined it would be.
That ain't a question
You know?
no more. Like Angel, honestly, like there's more people that I honestly just look and I'm like, bro, like I saw a video, Angel explained this already. Like
Yeah,
over there, check it out.
yeah,
And it's so easy to just point and be like, he knows his shit.
Yeah.
And if you got any questions, he got answers. And if you don't got the answers, he probably already posted the answer, bro. So just watch it. And now with the course that you guys are about to see come up and blow up, he's teaching years, decades worth of knowledge. A cameraman is really thinking about it. Like, I am, wow.
Bully Chihuahuas.
Bully Chihuahuas, I am not
Chihuahua.
playing. I'm already
Big body, little head.
Big body, little head. Somebody's gonna love me. Somebody's gonna want me.
Someone will.
Somebody's gonna love my little chihuahuas, all right?
They will be the mascot for Taco Bell again.
We are
Right
back.
there. That's the
Oh,
goal.
that's it. That's the goal. But y'all know it. And honestly, it's better to know the fact that you're not in it because you see a quick buck.
Yeah.
You're not in it because you're like, I kind of stumbled upon this. No, you're in it for the right reasons, and you're in it to help the next little guy or the next possibly an upcoming George that don't know it.
yeah, right.
And that's
That'd
the
be
crazier
amazing.
part.
That'd be amazing that one day, like, yet again, an upcoming George is like, kind of like, yo, like,
I learned from you.
Like, yeah, like I watched this growing up or whatever, and it's funny because exactly what you said. I had a conversation with my father, and he was like he always thought it was just like this hobby thing that I was just gonna do on the side forever, and never was gonna like be anything of it.
Parents just don't understand.
And he was like, yo, but I remember telling
Who's
him,
that from? Damn.
I don't think that's before.
That's way
Hey,
before
no,
his time.
no, yo, y'all don't gotta put that on camera right now.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Way before his time.
That's Nick Cannon, right?
No. This one, Nick Cannon.
Will Smith.
Oh shit!
It's alright. I'm
What
old.
movie?
All right.
You are old.
No, it's a song. What do you
It's a
mean?
song.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Oh,
Look at the time though. I had a conversation with my pops, and he thought it was gonna be a hobby or whatever. And the funny thing is, when we had that conversation, I told him, I said, you know what? Even if I never make a dime doing this, I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life, as far as shooting these videos and helping people out. And like I said, you get what you give, right?
Yeah. You're in it now.
Yeah.
1000% in
You
it.
know, so
And now
my little mini man.
Mini
manager.
There's still depths. We have not even gotten to all
Yo,
of it.
Yeah.
you guys should have saw Angel's dad's face when he came in, seen us in here, the
Oh,
full
yeah,
setup.
full setup.
Like it was like
Crazy.
Proud Pop, right?
Like,
the
he was
other
like,
reason
hey.
why it was like Proud Pop is because he has his own now YouTube channel
With hey,
It
no,
has
we're not shouting
something.
it out.
We
We have so many ideas for this
Let's
channel.
listen.
We are
Really
excited.
not.
No, but what I'm saying about this, listen,
It's
you
a
guys
good
hear me
channel
out.
idea.
You guys hear me out. He
It really
knows how much effort it
It
takes to
sounds
shoot a
very good.
video,
Oh.
to create content.
Oh,
So
no.
to see his son doing it, knowing like what he's going through, but now to see a full production team here taking care of something that is about to take him to a whole nother stratosphere, and for
No.
him to physically be able to see it live, right? This is while it's happening. This isn't something that we've already showed him the wrinkles pressed out and he's
No.
looking at it on the big screen.
looking at it raw.
And he's like, no, he's seen it raw. And the smile, yo, when he
Yeah, like
came
cheek
in,
to cheek.
he just looked at me
He's
and he was
like,
like, thank you.
Dang.
And I was like, I just,
My
you know
son
what I
really
mean?
made
He's proud of you, bro. Like,
Yeah,
that shit's dope.
she did the FaceTime with him when we was teaching the course in person.
Oh, nice.
Like I'll
He's
tell
amazing.
y'all real quick. He told me over the phone when I was talking earlier. He said, "You know what? When Sandra FaceTimed me while when you were teaching the course, I was there with your brother, and my brother finally like we talked about earlier, right? Oh, there's the picture there. Like
Don't Google him at all. But that's
do not look for his YouTube channel. We are not promoting.
we cutting that out.
No,
If we get invited back, we
Welcome back to another segment of. I have a gentleman by the name of Wilson here from California. I'm excited to have Wilson here, and we're going to talk a little bit about relationships.
Wilson's the only one.
But what my pops told me was, and remember the conversation we had that my brother, like, he kind of like, he didn't even want to act like he knew me as far as because of what I did with the dogs and things like that. Very concerned about having a title, a status, things like that. After they saw that FaceTime, my brother turned to my father and was like, yo, I want to start being an entrepreneur like my brother.
That's
So I
dope.
thought
That's
that was really kind
really
of
dope.
cool because
He
he wanted
inspire everybody.
Yeah,
He wanted
yeah,
nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Nothing to
yeah,
do with
But you can, as an entrepreneur, you can grow as fast as you want
yeah.
or as slow as you want. It doesn't have to be an overnight thing, right? You
Yeah.
just got to stay
Grind at it.
consistent.
Consistent.
And the
Yeah.
thing with me was, it wasn't about being an entrepreneur, but like it was. I got to do what I love to do,
Yeah.
and it just so happened to make money while I was doing it.
Yeah.
But with the connections that you make while you're traveling to all of these different cities, places, states, it's like it's hard to leave. Like you want to do it more,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's like I'm rushing back home to do something that I don't care about. I don't give a about, right?
Yeah.
Like normally, we wouldn't be out here until Tuesday, Wednesday. We'd have been home tonight. We'd be leaving. Like
Yeah.
we'd be packing up and we'd be at the airport tomorrow because we got to be to work on Monday, right?
Yep.
And I was losing out on tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
just because I had to go back to a place that I hated. And then I get there and they're looking at me like I'm an alien because they're not doing anything with their lives and they're watching my life through the internet. So it's like when I come back, I'm low key famous at work, like you know what I mean. But my bosses are pissed off. There's people that are hating on you and like because you're living your life and they feel like they're stuck in theirs.
And another thing, exactly what you were talking about as far as like with the job and like, here's the thing that I also realized as well too, is like, yet again, I've learned that just my philosophy in life is like you said, not worrying about the quick buck and things like that, because if you provided people with value and like, long story short, I feel like if you impact enough lives the right way, you don't have to worry about making money because it's just going to be, people will almost throw it at you if you're providing them value. The more lives you impact, the greater your bank account will look out. You don't have to worry about that. You don't have to worry about that because the money will just come.
Yeah.
You know? But that was always my thing, is like, how can I, and that's why I answer DMs, is because like, I'm like, how, I want to impact as many lives as I can today.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's
Yeah.
I think that should be the mission statement. Jesus Christ. He just keeps out rolling with great gems, man. He just said it. It was like, hey, I just wake up and I just want to impact the most lives that I can. This motherfucker should be a philosopher.
She'll fight with me over that sometimes. She'll be like, "Why are you answering all those DMs? Go to sleep." I'm like, "But
Listen, you know what it is? Angel doesn't have a turn off switch.
Yeah.
So I have to pull the plug
Once in a while,
and he needs to have his
I'm good.
Flip
Yo,
the switch.
hey, listen.
Junior, pull the plug.
everybody.
Daddy, you're going to bed.
Because you know what it is? Angel will stay up hours at a time answering, and we'll stay up, both of us just answering DMs back and forth. But the problem is, people forget he is a human being.
yeah.
He is not a robot,
He ain't Google, man.
you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, as much as we want to help everyone answer every single person that hits us up, because right now, I've been trying to answer on the side. In all honesty, it's one of those, patience is key, and if we don't get to you, just send another one so it can be on the top of the list.
So I want to tell you guys something that I was thinking about, and I know that you guys wanted to do the school, not the school, but do the class in larger cities.
Yeah.
I think the smaller cities are going to appreciate it more.
Yes.
Because they're driving. These are the people that are driving the 6-7 hours to go to
This
bed.
is true.
Well, think about it. We had someone drive literally from Kentucky, 14 hours.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Straight 14 hours.
It was two people from Kentucky.
The wife
Three
and the
people from
husband.
Kentucky. It
Three.
was the
One
wife,
flew and
husband,
two drove. And then think about it, the Bahamas. People are.
Bahamas, that was the crazy one. This guy.
First of all, he came to the call. Why are you coming in? I'm coming to you.
Yeah.
Wait till you see their testimonial.
Yeah.
Yo, the energy, yo.
Hey,
Crazy.
they went in.
I talked with him before.
You know, they had a little hype band, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I helped, you know what I mean? And I get what? We came all the way from the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Y'all coming hard.
Yeah,
yo.
represent yourself.
Yes, represent your country.
I completely agree with you doing the smaller cities.
Yes, and the more I thought about it, I'm like, it's not a malpractice, but we're missing the point, right?
Yeah.
Angel keeps talking about helping people, and Angel, if you put it out there like that, like I'm gonna hit the big cities, right?
Yeah, of course.
But the cities I would love to hit first.
Oh, the small
Oh,
one.
that's small ones. If you guys have a community in your area and you guys are driving 6-7 hours to see a vet,
Let me know.
exactly.
And
You
we
can now be the next 100,000 the next 6-figure person in your neighborhood just off the knowledge that you're gonna get from this course.
Yeah. It's
Because now they're not driving 6-7 hours to see a vet way out here. Because a lot of that stuff off of this knowledge you're gonna get from the course, you could do it
in
here.
your house.
yeah.
Certified.
Certified.
Hey,
Gold
gold
standard.
standard.
Gold standard.
Gold standard.
Chihuahua bully breeds coming
Whoa,
soon.
calm down. Damn it.
Yeah.
You know it.
West Coast.
But I truly believe that, Angel, and I think if you put it out there in that way,
And just to add to what you're saying though, that's why this online course is so important. Because in person I can only impact yet so many lives.
Yeah.
But online, like
whoa.
It can
it's just
go
it's
everywhere.
just even more.
The little
Even
breeder
more.
in Kentucky.
Don't worry about it.
Like even
Now
even
you're the
like,
big dog in Kentucky.
exactly like even
Jamaica.
even if I did a course every single day of my life, I still couldn't
they're
reach
not-
the amount of
No.
breeders that I could through an online course, and that's exactly where this online course comes into play.
Yeah. That's
Tell
good.
everyone.
Listen, that'll be at your disposal. Like you said, it's up to you if you want to move fast or slow. Just
Yeah.
exactly like Nipsey Hussle said, it's a marathon.
Not it.
We gotta end it there, man. I'm about to start crying. I'm missing this so bad, bro.
That's number one right there.
Dang, yo.
She had to bring it in like that.
Shout out to DMX Rough Riders.
Dogs.
Rest easy to the kings.
Hey man, we're about to get out of here. We got to get back to this course.
Back
that
to
we
the work,
promising
yeah.
y'all. It's time
At
to get
work.
back to work, baby. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys in the course.